What's going on, guys? Hello, everyone who's watching this right now. First of all, I want to welcome everyone who is watching this to the Internet Entrepreneur Student Show, which is hosted by me, the Nikhil Sai. And guess what? I'm pretty excited, right? I'm super excited to show this guy's journey. Like we are having another True Karma Club award winner on this show today, and he literally started with some brick and mortar stuff, running hard with studio, and now actually hit his business to Two Comma Club, selling simple courses at just $47. Guess who is interested and excited to see his journey? Let's not waste any time and welcome Eric Thayne, owner at Celadora. Hey, Eric.
Hey, Nikhil, how you doing? Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, Eric. Super excited to have you on as well, brother. How's the day so far?
It's going well, just getting things done.
Absolutely, man. So everyone who's watching this right now, first of all, thank you so much for joining this. Please put hashtag live if you're watching this live and hashtag replay if you're watching this on replay. And I'm super excited to interview Eric. Eric is with us for 40 more minutes right now. So if you have any questions regarding how to scale a business, what kind of video gear you should be using to do videos and all that cool jazz, put that in the comment section and Eric would love to answer. So Eric, let's not waste any time, but can you please tell us like how did this all started? Like how did you get started?
Yeah, good question. So so what I tell people is I actually got started selling online when I was 13 years old. So I was
Oh,
really young. I grew up with the internet, so it was just kind of natural to me to do that. And I don't think that when I was that young, I don't think I realized just how powerful it is and what you can do with it. But my first business was actually creating little graphic designs for heavy metal bands on MySpace. So I don't know if you remember MySpace, but there
it's
were
before Facebook.
yeah, like the pre-Facebook, right? And there were a lot of musicians on there and bands, and they would get on and they would create a profile and share their music and all that kind of stuff. And they needed like little GIFs or graphics or like t-shirt designs or banners and stuff that they could put on their profile to make them look cool,
Hmm.
right? And so they would hire me to create those for them. So I would actively reach out to bands on MySpace and say, "Hey, look at all these things I've made. I can make them for you." And it was kind of funny, like with
At
these,
13,
what's that?
I mean, at 13 years age, you're doing that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I
That's
mean, I was
crazy.
always entrepreneurial as a kid, like selling lemonade and rocks and
Sleek.
all sorts of stuff. And so like I was always trying to figure out, how to make money doing things that I love to do. And I would so I'd reach out and they would have, these really weird band names, these metal bands, and I would draw like a picture of a dinosaur or something and then put the name of their band in like a really scary font. You've probably seen it before. And they had the weirdest band names. But anyway, so that's actually how I got started selling online. And like I said, I didn't realize that it was so powerful. There's a lot of people that like are older than me that grew up and the internet was this amazing thing. To me, I grew up with it. And it was just like normal. Like the fact that I was talking to people across the world and doing transactions with them like didn't really phase me. And it wasn't until I ran a lot of businesses, like you mentioned, some brick and mortar, like recording studios and video production companies and that kind of stuff throughout the years. It wasn't
Hmm.
until, about a decade or so later that I really started to understand and grasp the power of selling online when I created my
Hmm.
first online course. And I created a course for filmmakers. So I had been running a video production company and had built it up to six figures. And I had a lot of people asking me questions about, what how did you do it? How did you get clients? How do you create work like that? And so there's a lot of these filmmakers that needed to learn business and they needed to learn how to make better looking videos. And so I created
Hmm.
online courses and products to help filmmakers create really cinematic looking videos, like high end, like Hollywood style commercials. And I would help them make those and then help them learn how to run their business and how to sell them to clients and do basically duplicate what I had done. And that went really well for a while. It still continues to. I'm still running that business today. And about three, let's see, about 3 years in to that business, I had just hit $500,000 in revenue. Okay, so we were
Hmm.
doing like low six figures every year, and I am very grateful for anything that I've accomplished. That it's amazing. Like compared to what I was doing with businesses before this, that was an incredible increase, and just it's amazing being able to make even low six figures. But like,
Mm-hmm.
how many of you guys listening are entrepreneurs? Like, when you hit one level, it just like makes you even more fired up to go to the next level, right? And that's
100%.
how I felt, is that we were at that 6-figure mark, and I was just like, how do I get to 7 figures? Like, I want to do 6 figures a month, and 7 figures a year, and then ultimately from there even beyond, right? And so I hit a point where I was actually kind of stuck for a while. And
Mm-hmm.
I talked to some of my close friends. I told them that I didn't really know what to do about it. I wasn't. I had like $1,000 course. I had a $7,500 program. I had a $15,000 program, and they were all selling okay, and we were doing fine. Enough to live a lifestyle with my family and to be able to be an entrepreneur. But like
Mm-hmm.
ultimately, like I wanted more, and I really, really wanted to hit the 2 comma club, right? And I wanted the plaque. I wanted to put that on my wall. But like,
Exactly.
and the plaque is really cool, right? It's up on my wall now. But like even more important than the plaque was just like the ability to be free and to have the lifestyle of an entrepreneur, and to ultimately, like, the reason I got into this from a young age was someday I'm going to have a family and I want to be able to spend my life with my family. Now I have a wife and 2 daughters, and like that's like everything to me. And so that's kind of where I was stuck, is like I'm just not getting there. And it was at that point that I discovered what I now call a mighty offer. Now, for
Mm-hmm.
anybody that's out there is listening that had like a high ticket offer, or even like a mid ticket offer, but anywhere from 1,000 to 20, 50, 100,000, $1 million offer. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the one of the biggest issues with an offer like that, the trickiest things, is getting more people into it, right? It's just
100%.
filling it with clients. And
Yeah.
so, and that's where I was stuck, because I had these offers, but like the volume was just too low. And I discovered this thing that I call a mighty offer, which is basically a really, really valuable low ticket offer that you
Mm-hmm.
use to bring in not leads, but buyers onto your email list, and then send those buyers into your high ticket offers. So you can think of it like a lead funnel, but instead of going out and actually paying for leads, which are going to they're going to clutter your email list and probably not buy anything, and they're just looking for freebies and all that. Instead of paying for
Mm-hmm.
leads, you actually get paid to get buyers on your list, and then you can send them. So it's like a win-win-win, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I discovered this, and I decided to go all in on this funnel and try to build this out for myself. And let me just tell you, I was going from like about to give up. I mean, I was ready to be done. Like, I'm not gonna
Oh,
make it. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna start a different business. Like, this isn't gonna work. And I blamed my market. We're human. We tend to blame other things.
100%.
It's my market. They won't spend money. There's not enough people in my market. There's not enough customers in my market. And I started to blame all these things. But I decided to go all in on this offer. And when I did, uh, let me tell you this. So it was February of that year, we had done $15,000 in revenue at
Mm-hmm.
about a $3,000 loss. Okay, that's kind of where we were at. Like, we were losing money every month.
Okay.
We launched this offer. In March, we did 30,000. In April, we did 50,000. And in May, we did our first 6-figure month, made over $100,000 in a month
Whoa.
from
There you
this
go.
offer. Yeah. By August, we flew past the 2 comma club line with our entire funnel stack, value stack. And then now that funnel all by itself has done over $1 million. How crazy is that?
Wow, man. That's crazy. Like literally that short period of time, like in February, you're losing money to actually where you're making 6 figure within just 3 months of span. That's absolutely a brainstorming for every single person who's giving up. You have the living proof right there on the camera, right?
Yeah.
You can see Eric have done it. So you have the right option. You just need the ability to take action and build the right stuff. So like that's exciting, buddy. And thank you so much for your quick story. Like that's the next question I do have. Like I wonder, like you're making $500,000 from so many years, like 3 years of time. Then you just hit two comma club within a couple of months. How did you do it? Like, how did you scale your business to two comma club within this short period of time, bud? How did you
Yeah.
manage that level of scale?
Good question. So like I said, it took us 3 years to get halfway.
Mm-hmm.
And then after implementing this, we did the other half in just 6 months. And so it was an extreme acceleration. And I don't know how to explain like what that feels like, except that to
Mm-hmm.
say that like it's life changing. I mean, I remember the first day that my wife and I woke up one morning when this all like started snowballing. We woke up that morning, and the first thing I did is I picked up my phone and I looked at Stripe, okay, our payment processor, just because I was curious. And waking up in the morning, we had already made from midnight till like 7 a.m. when we woke up, we'd already made $2,500 completely on autopilot. And I was just I didn't know how to feel or how to think like this changed our life forever. And you know, ever since then, like our business, it wasn't like a slow incremental growth of the business. I started to
Mm-hmm.
understand this concept of like making quantum leaps in your business, where we literally went for, it was like a stair step. Like we were here and then we were here the next day. You know, it was like
Exactly.
almost that instant.
Huge gap. Yeah.
And what I realized from that is that you can make quantum leaps in your business. A quantum leap is an instant and spontaneous um, improvement in performance, a massive improvement in performance. And the way that most people look at growing a business is like slow incremental growth. And in reality, even though a quantum leap sounds hard, it's actually easier than the alternative, which is slow growth. Okay. And so
Exactly.
it's really just a matter of looking like, where do you want to be? And instead of like growing to that point, just being there now. It's a shift in your mindset. Okay. And so the way we did this was with this mighty offer funnel. So like I said, it was a low ticket offer at a $47 lighting
Mm-hmm.
course, teaching videographers how to light their videos and make them look better, basically. And so we launched this offer. But how many of you guys have ever launched a funnel and it didn't work?
I believe 95% of the complete market have seen that phase, at
Probably
least.
most people, right? I know I,
Yeah.
okay. And the big shift that I made, and this is what I'll share about this, is that, you know, usually for the first 3 years, whenever I launched a funnel, if it didn't work, I would do what most people do, and I would just turn it off and move on to the next one. Let's go build something else. Start over the whole process.
Number one
Or
mistake.
that
Yeah.
didn't work, so we need to create something different. That was the thing that I did very different with this one. If you guys know who Russell Brunson is, he says this thing that
Everybody.
really stuck with me, that he always says, if you want to be successful, pick one funnel, one offer, and one traffic source and use those until you make $1 million. And that was the thing that I did different with this one. So instead of like when you decide to focus, when you decide to put everything aside and focus on one
Mm-hmm.
thing, what happens is instead of when it doesn't work, you just go somewhere else, you try to figure it out. You start asking the right questions. You start figuring out, you start talking to your mentors and your coaches and your friends and getting their advice and feedback. It's a mentality not of this doesn't work, but rather of how can I make this work? And collecting data
100%.
and making it happen. So we went through a series. When I mentioned that we were losing money in February, it's because this funnel was actually losing money. And we were losing money for every single person that bought. And so we went through a series of really intense split tests to test
Mm-hmm.
everything we could possibly think of. I got on with my coaches and my mentors and my friends, and I asked them, I said, look at my funnel. What do you think we could do better? What's not resonating with you? What needs to be improved? And they gave me a laundry list of ideas. And I went through one
Mm-hmm.
by one and started testing those things. And we took the funnel by doing that, by following this process. We took the funnel from losing money for every single person that was buying it to making a 4x return on every single person that bought it. So we're talking spending $15 to acquire a customer and making $70
Whoa.
on a $47 product. Okay. And that's not even counting all of the ascension into high ticket offers.
Upsells. Yeah.
So what I was talking about with the, you know, with our increase in revenue every month, like that was just this funnel, at one funnel. And then from there, we were able to take all of those new buyers, which we've now had almost 14,000 people buy that product. We were able to take
Oh,
all of those people on our list. Our list is like almost completely buyers now at this point. And we've got a very
exactly.
warm
Awesome.
list that it's hot. We can sell things to it. And we do launches, we do our high ticket products, we do all that kind of stuff. And like they sell really well. because we have buyers on our list and not just leads.
100%. Yeah, like that what really differentiates every business person who is still struggling in his business, like to the person who actually hit that plague level, right? So
Yeah.
that's really awesome. Like a lot of people will actually give up, like what you just mentioned, and like it's really the mindset which you had, right, which actually took you off in the right stability in your life with your business right now. And that's really awesome. Like everyone who's watching this, you can do it too. It's really like the level of scale you need, and like what you exactly mentioned was the one of the best suggestions I've ever heard, to do the right funnel split testing. Ask your coaches, mentors. Like a lot of people will just quit the sales funnel. They come up with a different offer. They come up with a different strategy. They go into a different niche, different traffic source. But what you just mentioned, pick only one offer, one funnel, and one traffic source, and just go all in, and it will definitely work out.
And
That's awesome, Eric.
let me just say one more thing just to kind of cap this off, and that is
Mm-hmm.
that if you're looking to scale a business, the key to scaling is being able to pay to acquire customers. Okay, you can build a six-figure business organically, pretty
100%.
easily, right? And if you have a really big following, you can build a seven-figure business organically. But most people are starting out without a following, and so you can build up to the point where
Exactly.
you're making six figures organically. That's totally fine. But like if you want to scale to seven figures, eight figures, beyond, the key is understanding how to pay to acquire customer. You have to be able to buy clients in your business.
Exactly.
This funnel,
Exactly.
the mighty offer that I call it, this low ticket funnel, low ticket high
Mm-hmm.
value funnel, is by far the best way to do it that I've ever seen.
Absolutely. Like you're actually not spending money, you're making money while you're acquiring them. Like that's where the beauty of the complete sales process is, right? You're making money while you're acquiring real customers.
Yep.
That's awesome, Eric. Hope people are getting a lot of insights from your complete business plan. So let's get into the next question, Eric. Like, what do you think is the key components to result in a more cinematic look of videos? Like, if you see in my setup, I'm just trying out some jazz to make it look more cinematic. I would love your input. Like, what do you think is the right key components to make a video look cinematic?
Well, your setup looks better than mine right now, so I'm just on the webcam, like not even trying. But so like I've been teaching filmmakers for the last 5 years, and have done video production since I was a kid, really. And
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
it's actually interesting, like the big mindset shift that a lot of these filmmakers have to make is that creating good looking videos actually takes a few small little tweaks. It's not really that difficult. And the tweaks have to do with knowing how to set things up, not with what camera you're using. So a big mistake that most people will make is they say, well, I want to make something that looks cinematic or looks really good. And they'll go buy a really expensive camera or a really expensive light or something like that. And so we have a tendency to like kind of put the emphasis on the gear. And like, if I have
Mm-hmm.
the best gear, then I'll be able to make a good looking video. It's almost like, if you wanted to learn how to paint and be really good at painting, and you went out and bought the most expensive paintbrush you could find, it's not really gonna
That
make a difference. It's a tool,
was
right?
the best.
And certainly if you're a professional, like having the best tools is important. Like if you look at any professional painter, they're going to have the expensive brushes, right? Because they know the
Mm-hmm.
value of those. But the reason that they're good at painting is not because of the brushes. It's just kind of an additional help. So it's the same thing with film
Exactly.
and with videography. So if any of you guys are looking to make your live streams look better, or your Zoom calls look better, or any video content or ads that you're putting out there, there's really only a few simple tweaks. And having a good quality camera is nice, but I wouldn't go out and break the bank on one. Just having something, if you're using your webcam like that's built into your computer, just upgrade to like $100 webcam or something like that. Just go to the next step. You're totally fine. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so the biggest thing after that is understanding lighting. So lighting is 100%. Like I would say that 80% of the quality cinematic look of videos comes from lighting. Okay. And
Exactly.
even this setup right now, like I'm on a very cheap webcam. So it doesn't, the quality is not that good. And so like you can see that my face right here is like blowing out and it's all white and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's the quality of the camera. Okay. But
Mm-hmm.
even with that, like the lighting of this scene looks pleasant. Okay. I've got light
Exactly.
coming from a direction. I've got a window over here. What most people don't know is I also have a light up here as well. So actually, if I turn that off, then I'll look like this.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
So one of the biggest tips I give people is the first thing, just sit next to a window. Because it's one of the best things you can do, the easiest things you can do, because you're going to automatically get a really nice soft light on your face, and it's going to look decent.
Exactly.
Now we could adjust this so it's not so dark on this side and all that kind of stuff. There's a whole thing going on here that I use for my YouTube videos for that camera over there, which is why it's dark over
Mm-hmm.
here. But if you're in a small room and you've got a window, it'll light up the whole room and it'll light you up. I have another light here, and this is where you should use your light, is a big soft box, something big and soft that's going to give a nice flattering light on your face. I'm using that to help kind of wrap the light around. So you notice this side of my face is really dark because the window is
Mm-hmm.
over here. If I just simply turn this light on, then it's going to help wrap that light around. So the shadow is still
Exactly.
on this side, but you can see the front of my face.
Absolutely. Yeah, like the light is super soft. Like we can literally see that on the camera itself. Absolutely. So after the lighting, like what do you think is the next key component for the great cinematic look on videos?
Yeah, so lighting is going to be key. Your lighting looks great, by the way. I mean, you've got nice soft light coming from about a 45-degree angle, okay, from
Thank you so
that
much.
direction or whichever way it is on your screen. And,
Yeah.
what I like is that you've got a light side and you've got a shadow side, right? So
Mm-hmm.
on your left ear is in shadow, right? And your right
Exactly.
ear is lit, but the front of your face is all lit. So you don't ever want like half of your face lit because you're gonna look like a supervillain or something. You want to have the front of your face,
Exactly.
but then have shadow somewhere. So you could have a shadow on this side or underneath your chin to help kind of give definition to the face. So great work. Um,
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
the next thing is from lighting is really probably just having a good location and setting up the composition of your scene. Like in your setup, you've got the nice like chair, you're in front of a black backdrop, it looks clean, everything's looking nice. But even if
Mm-hmm.
somebody who's listening, if you're in an office like I am, I've got like a lamp back there and a chair and a bookcase, that's totally fine too. The biggest recommendation that I would make is just make sure that you are away from the background a little bit. Okay. So you don't want to be right up
Exactly.
against it because then everything's just going to be right there. You want to have a little bit of a distance. And so just giving yourself some space from the background. So that back wall is over there. I've got my desk up against this wall so that there's a little bit of space back there and then it looks better. And then the last thing is just framing and composition. So like in your setup, you are right in the middle. You're like perfectly framed. You've got not too much space above your head, but not too little. In
Mm-hmm.
terms of competition, you don't want your head to be cut off like this because that looks bad. But you also
Yep.
don't want, I see this sometimes where people are down here, there's a ton of space above them. So just use your body to fill the frame in a way that looks pleasing and you'll look great.
Absolutely, man. Like that, that's amazing tips, right? That like everyone is actually doing Zoom meetings and like trying to shoot some YouTube content. Like literally, Eric showed you how you can take your content to the whole another level. Like I see a lot of people trying to shoot content, do these silly mistakes of not covering up things, but you made them right there. But thank you so much for giving that information away. And like everyone tries to create a lot of content. They make huge mistakes, like silly mistakes, like they don't even point out, like someone else should tell them and they feel like silly for that, right? So like what do
Mhm.
you think are the number one mistakes to be avoided while creating quality content? Like maybe 3 to 5 mistakes.
Oh, 3 to 5. Wow. Okay. Mistakes to be avoided while creating content. Um, I would say in terms of creating the content, one of the biggest mistakes is not having good audio. Because that's one of the things that's going to take your videos really to the next level. When people are listening to you talk, they want to be able to hear you talk, and that's one of the
Exactly.
important things. So having good audio quality is more important than the video because people could turn on a YouTube video and listen to it in the background. They may not even be watching the video, and even if the video doesn't look
Absolutely.
good. So like right now, the video quality of my video isn't like super high quality, but I've got a high
Mm-hmm.
quality microphone and like we'll always have this because it's going to at least sound good. It'll be pleasing to listen to my voice.
So
And all
sharp.
you need in order to do that is just to have a good quality microphone. This is a Blue Yeti mic. These are really
Mm-hmm.
good. They're really affordable. And I've just got it on an arm here so I can kind of position it wherever I want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then,
Yep.
and then this microphone just serves as my mic for everything, for creating content, creating videos, for doing live streams, doing whatever. And then in terms of the microphone, you just want to have it close enough to your mouth that you're not going to get too much reverberation in the room. So to give you an
Mm-hmm.
example, if I go really close to my microphone, I'll talk a little bit quieter because it's going to get louder. But you'll notice that it starts to sound like the podcast voice, right? It's almost like
Exactly.
a podcast, and that's like the classic podcast voice. Get really close to the microphone. There's a lot of bass response in your voice. It's called the proximity
Absolutely.
effect, and so you get that. Now, if I go really far away, let's say I put the microphone over here, and you notice now you're hearing the sound of my room more, and you're hearing the room that I'm in. It's bouncing all over the place and then going into the microphone, and so you don't want that, right? So the sweet spot is about a foot away from your microphone, and then you'll get, it's not too close and kind of awkward, but also not too reverberate around your room. You get just nice look. If you don't have a microphone, like the best thing you do just to start out with is put in earbuds. Use, especially the ones that have cords and have a microphone that's a little bit closer to your mouth. That can
Hmm.
be effective, but ultimately, like, these are not that expensive. Just go get a good mic and you'll sound great.
Absolutely, buddy. Yeah, that's awesome. Like you're literally hyping up this thing. I really love the vibe, man. Like you're making it so interactive and lovable, right? Thank you so much for that quick tip. And also like as you're teaching, especially like how to create this video skills, like get into more cinematic content creation and all that cool stuff. Like, what do you think is the capability? Like, how can people monetize these video skills and make a living out of it? Like, what do you think is the possibility with this skill set?
Do you mean specifically for filmmakers wanting to sell their
Yes,
videos? Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
So the biggest thing for anybody that is, running a video production company or as a filmmaker, the biggest thing I teach is really just understanding the basics of marketing and sales. So
Mm-hmm.
most filmmakers, in fact, most creatives, so anybody who's listening that's a creative or an artist or a filmmaker, the biggest mistake that
Mm-hmm.
they make is this belief that the only way to grow my business is to create good work and put it out there and hope that people call. And that's how most artists go about it is, I'm going to have an Instagram profile and a YouTube channel, and I'm just going to make really good videos and try to make them better and better and better and better. And then, hopefully people will see them and they'll get more views. And then someday I'll get paid for my work. The problem with this method is it's what I call a hope and pray marketing method, because you're basically just hoping that people will hire you. Instead, by learning the basics of marketing and sales and picking a niche, understanding that niche, knowing how to communicate with that niche in a way that helps them see the value of what you do. All of these things, like really understanding that, will take you to the next level instantly. And it's just a matter of understanding those basic marketing and sales skills. If you can do that, then instead of just hoping that people will connect the dots on your videos, like they'll see a video
Mm-hmm.
and connect the dots like, oh, I could see myself doing a video like this and it could get this result for me and I could be something that I want, and then calling you and hiring you, right? Which is what happens, and which is why people that just put work out there occasionally get phone calls, right? Instead of making people connect the dots by themselves, the sales process connects the dots for people. So you walk them through that journey. Look, you just saw my video. Here's the result that it got for this client. Here's what it could do for you. If you were to do this, this would happen. Now let's talk about doing it. Okay. That's sales essentially, is finding out what people want
Absolutely.
and then giving it to them. And so learning how to communicate in a way that helps people know that, oh, this is a person that could be helpful to me. That's ultimately what it comes down to.
Absolutely, brother. Like I believe that's the number one key for any business, right? Like even if you have like the sleekest product, like the most valuable product ever, if you don't market it well, if you don't show the message that you have it, you're ready to serve, then who's gonna buy, right? Like all these people are creating content, making their skill set better, but they're not selling it, they're not monetizing it. Then like how can they sustain for long term, right? That's really boiled down to sales and marketing, which you just mentioned. And
Yep.
like this is like my personal passion for a lot of years who are going to watch this on replays and stuff like that. Like a lot of people have a limited budget, but they want cool video output. Like everybody wants that. Like literally, they don't want to hurt their bank, but they still want a good quality content. So like, what do you think is like your go-to best video setup in budget? Like I'm asking about the gear, especially.
Yeah, in a budget, because you can easily spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on video gear,
100%. Yeah.
but yeah, I wouldn't recommend that for most people. So best video setup. Um, you mean like specific pieces of gear? So
Mm-hmm.
so I'll try my best because I don't typically work with the low end, like the budget
I know
range gear,
that.
but
Yeah.
I also don't own a lot of gear. And this is
Mm-hmm.
probably the more important principle to understand than knowing exactly what gear to get. And that is that it's not about having the best gear. And if you want to use the best gear, you can rent it. So in the filmmaking industry, there's a really big rental industry. Like any big city or metropolitan area, or like even small cities, probably have a film rental house. Okay, is what it's called. And you
100%.
can go there and
Yeah.
you can rent gear. Some of them will require insurance. So your business will need to have insurance, but a lot of times they don't. And really, you can just go, like, if you've got a filmmaker and editor that's working for you, or you want to do it yourself, like, you can go pick up cameras and lights and stuff that you can rent for a day, and then you can use them for that day. And it's way more affordable than just buying the gear. A camera that costs $50,000 will cost you maybe 500 to 1,000 for a day. And so it's just,
Yep.
just way more effective to do it that way. And then usually, if the people are nice there, you can go in and ask them to just kind of show you around and show you what they have. And so that's what I recommend doing in terms of like actual gear. Um, you can do a lot of things. Like I mentioned, if you're trying to do video and you're on a budget, I would recommend just getting like a small clip-on webcam. Okay, something very
Mm-hmm.
simple. I would just Google it, like what's the best webcam out there, and look for one that's within your budget, and that should work. You can go up from there. So like the camera that I typically use as my webcam, which is not set up right now, obviously, is a Canon EOS R, which is a mirrorless camera. It's a little bit nicer. It's about $1,000. And so like that's what I use. Well, it's $1,000 camera and about I don't know, $800 lens. And so that's kind of my
Mm-hmm.
setup I usually have set up. Over here for my course videos, I'm actually using a $25,000 camera, but that's the one that
Mm-hmm.
I use for like high-end commercial productions. But then I also do my course videos, my YouTube videos using it because it just looks great, and I have it, so why
Yeah.
not? So the range can vary a lot, but like if you're trying to graduate from your built-in webcam on your computer, then just like I said earlier, just buy like a clip-on webcam for $100, $200, like whatever it is that costs, and like you'll look great with that. And then in terms of lighting, um, first sit next to a window and see how it looks, and if it looks good, then you don't have to do anything else. But if you need, like for example, if you sit next to a window and it looks like this, like mine does, and you need a light to kind of light up your face, I would get
Mm-hmm.
like a soft box. And for most people, like anything will do. If you want to get into quality lights, uh,
Mm-hmm.
the brand that I love the most is called Aputure. That's Aputure. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the light that I'm using here. They have a light called the 100D, which is I
Mm-hmm.
think about $200, and it's like built for content creators. And then there's a soft box you can get for it called the Light Dome SE. If you pair
Mm-hmm.
those two things together, you will have basically the same lighting setup. This is a little bit more expensive one, but it's because they just recently released these cheaper versions of it that like have the same light quality, the same everything, just like built for
Awesome.
content creators. So that's what I would recommend.
Absolutely, but yeah, thank you so much. I think that would definitely help a lot of people who are having short budget to want to have like a great quality content out of it, and hopefully that helps. And let's get to the next question, Eric. Like in this short period of time, like you scale to another different level. Like I believe you have this clients, high-end coaching programs, and your own course for ads, funnels, follow-ups, like everything. Like there's a lot of stuff on the table while you're especially scaling a company. I wonder, like, how did you manage it? Like what kind of tools do you use to manage your projects, your clients, or your productivity?
Yeah, good question. So we use a lot of tools, but I'm going to say that the greatest tool is your own ability to simplify. So it sounds
100%.
complicated, like everything that we have going on, all these programs and everything, but like we have aggressively worked to simplify things and make sure that it's a streamlined process, because otherwise it can get out of hand with software and
Exactly.
tools and everything that's going on. You don't
Mm-hmm.
need more than like one or two programs to build like a really big business. And so
Exactly.
like, I don't recommend people go out there and like sell a ton of things. Like just pick one thing and go all in on that one thing. But in terms of tools that we use, like software, we use ClickFunnels for our landing pages and membership sites. We use Stripe for payment processing. We use Airtable is a really good like organizational tool. So all of our important like database information, like who's in our programs and where they're at,
Mm-hmm.
and um, everything that we're managing Like for example, like you filled out a form for this interview, right? And so we have
Mm-hmm.
everything systematized like that. That goes into Airtable and all the information. So I have a list of all the people that I have interviews with over the next couple of weeks.
No.
So all
Awesome.
that information is in there. So we use that as an organizational tool. We use Slack with our team as a team communication tool. We use Monday for project management. Okay, so Monday is like a task tool with your entire team, so you can see like what everybody's
Mm-hmm.
working on. Let's see what else. I mean, there's a lot of them. I use Active Campaign for emails. Um, for live streaming, stuff like StreamYard is great, which is what we're using here. If you're on a
Mm-hmm.
Mac, Ecamm Live is a really good, affordable option for live streaming on Mac. I could go on and on, but there's a few of them at least.
Absolutely. But yeah, like that really makes sense. Like those tools are like the go-to, and I believe like those are more than enough to actually scale a business to six figures and beyond easily. Like they don't need to complicate it. And I love the sentence which you said. It's all about simplifying the process, not complicating with multiple tools, processes, people in between, right? Absolutely.
Yeah, the ultimate key to being more productive is simplifying your business. Because if it gets too complicated,
100%.
then you spend all day putting out fires and answering emails. And so like I don't read my emails. I don't read my messages. I have people that take care of those things for me. And then uh I focus on being in a more strategic role in the business. That's the ultimate. Like I want to spend more time learning and reading books and processing and thinking about strategy
Whoa,
than
interesting.
making posts or writing emails or that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
That's
So
the
yeah,
ultimate.
you're being like the mastermind of your complete business, and you're packaging yourself to the next level where you want to take your business to, and you're guiding your complete streamlines with the instructions to do it. It's that's awesome. But and like I wonder, like how does your daily routine looks like to manage all this stuff together? Like, do you have any stick to daily routine?
Yeah, in the morning I have a pretty well built out morning routine. It's simple.
Mm-hmm.
I get up in the morning, I you know drink a bunch of water, brush my teeth, all that kind of stuff, and then I get ready for the gym. I go to the gym for about 45 minutes in the morning, and so I
Mm-hmm.
will do a combination of cardio and weightlifting, just to
Mm-hmm.
just keep myself active and start the day off with like a high energy activity. And then from there, I
Mm-hmm.
come home. I do about 10 minutes of meditation, and it's just
So
time to just relax. As long as the day's going well and like I get on top of that early, I'll do the meditation. I'll spend 20-30 minutes up to an hour reading whatever book I'm working on at the time, and then from there it's right into work.
absolutely. Yeah, that's like a very simple and effective routine which you look at all the high-end entrepreneurs. That's really awesome. And thank you for like being super transparent and mentioning that.
Mhm.
And I wonder, like, we have the next question here. Like, what will be your suggestion to a 20-year-old you or someone who is just starting out who's struggling in the business?
Ooh. Um, for me, if I were to go back to like when I was 20, it would all revolve around learning and education. So I would start devouring books fast because there's such a wealth of knowledge in books, like so much that you can learn. Like find out what people's top books are and go read those books. You start with the classics like Think and Grow Rich or any of the other, wealthy mindset books.
Mm-hmm.
Those are extremely powerful. And I'm unfortunately I didn't discover those until a little bit later. Had I discovered those earlier, like it probably would have grown a lot faster. So like books and any other resources you can find out there to help you with your mindset, to help you understanding business, sales, marketing, the ultimate like money making skills. That's going to be really important. And then number one really is like hire a coach as soon as you possibly can, because ultimately like that's the thing that took me from every time I hired a new coach, we made a quantum leap, right? So like that took me from making 50,000 a year to making over six figures a year. And it was the same thing from six figures a year to close to seven figures a year. And then like I just recently hired a new coach, and like we're our goal is within, hopefully within the next year or two, maybe. But maybe within the next year is to get to the point where we're doing 1 million a month.
Absolutely. So you're gonna hit the 2 comma X, my friend, right there.
Exactly.
So you
Yep.
have a strict goal. Awesome, man. Yeah. super thankful. Like, and I really genuinely love that. Like, like learning is number one thing. Like people just be in the mindset after they get older or when they're struggling in their business, they be like, oh, I know everything, but it isn't working. I want to try something else. But when you learn the ins and outs of everything working on, then you'll be so mindful to work out the right stuff, which should be actually taking place, and you make it happen right there. Absolutely, Eric. Love it. And Eric, like, what are your life's biggest achievements so far, and any bigger goals?
Yeah, that's a good question. Kind of like what I was talking about. Like our, we've done a million a year. We've done 6-figure months. We've done almost a million in a year. We're like so close to that, but like we have done 6-figure months. And then the next step is to get to $1 million months. And the funny thing is, like, as an entrepreneur, you tend to think that, like, man, once I make 6 figures, like everything will be great. And then you get to that point and it is great, right? But then like, but what if we could do 6 figures a month? What if we could do 7 figures? And so, like, yeah, and it's like, man, once I get to $1 million and I get my 2 comma club boys,
Absolutely.
everything's gonna be amazing. And the reality is that as your business grows, I will say, yes, it gets more and more amazing. The lifestyle is amazing, the impact is amazing. You're working with more people. Like, there are parts of it that are just incredible. But like the the problems and the issues and the struggles that every entrepreneur is going to have forever are they get bigger. Okay, the problems are more difficult to solve. They take a lot more brain power. There's a lot more thinking. There's more team members involved. There's the scope of the business gets bigger. And that's not to like scare anybody, like, don't go make money, like I said, it is amazing, but like, just to prepare you and understand that, like you're in this to solve problems, and business is about solving problems. You're going to continue solving problems, and those problems are going to get bigger and bigger. But as they get bigger and bigger, you are going to be more and more well equipped to handle those problems as you
Absolutely.
grow and your mindset increases. And so that's kind of, where we're at. We're at a certain level right now, and trying to get to the next level. And that next level, like I said, like, our next, like, immediate goal is $1 million month, and we're going to be working towards that really hard right now.
Absolutely, man. That's awesome. And hopefully you'll get that 2 Max pretty soon. I'd
We'll see.
love to see you on FHL 2022, holding that award for sure, but excited
Well,
for that
maybe
moment.
2021.
Aggressive, man. Let's go. Let's do it, man. Awesome. And like Eric, like you've done so much entrepreneurial stuff when you were so young to actually the point where you're doing 7 figures right now. Like, what was your biggest mistake in your life in business and probably personal as well?
Okay, personal, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of business, biggest mistake. I'll say this. Okay, so earlier I was talking about mighty offers, right? These low ticket offers that you can use to get buyers on your list and to send them into your high
Mm-hmm.
ticket offers. The biggest mistake that I made in my business is that when we started running that mighty offer the first time, and it started making so much money by itself, that I forgot to ascend those clients into high ticket programs. That
That was silly, man.
probably sounds funny, but when you're making a 4x return on your product and it's just running all day without you, it's just, you just don't even think about it. You're just like, oh, how can I just keep going and doing things with this?
It's a
And
money
I
machine.
forgot to, like, increase that lifetime value, because what's going to happen is, like, after a while, the offer is going to fatigue, your ads are going to fatigue, like, people have seen it, like our video ads have millions and millions of views, like, they've been seen by every single filmmaker on the planet. Right, at this point, it seems like. And the reality is that, like, eventually you burn through all of the people that are going to buy in a specific time period, and then things slow down a little bit. And when those things
Absolutely.
slow down, you want to make sure that you have the process in place to ascend people to higher ticket items, because you don't want to build an entire business off of a low ticket product. There are people that do it and they're successful with it. Honestly, not my thing. Okay. You're just pinching pennies, and it's about margins, and it's a really difficult game. If you can really figure out the high ticket part of it and ascend people into a high ticket program, I'm talking like 10K minimum, if not like 30, 50, 100K, and something like that. That's really where, like, your profit maximization is going to be. And I would focus there really hard.
Absolutely, buddy. And yeah, that really turns out really well. Like everyone who's watching this, make sure when you're making profit, Just look at how you can increase your average customer value, because you know there will be tough times along the way, right? So you should be prepared by that, just making sure that you get most out of your marketing budget. And but let's get into the next question, like who are your main inspiration for all the success and any key people involved in the journey?
Yeah. So main inspirations. I mean, Russell Brunson is a big inspiration of mine. I look up to him in a lot of ways, not even just
Mm-hmm.
business, but personal. So that would be one, and like a lot of just my friends, coaches, mentors. I've been lucky to get into like a really good group of people that are positive and uplifting and helpful, and so those are some of the people that I follow, and we help each other out. Uh,
Absolutely.
in terms of key persons, and I'm not sure what you're asking there about key persons.
Yeah, like maybe your teammates, your wife, or someone who's just helping out in the
Well,
business. If you
yeah,
want to give a shout out.
of course, my wife. She's my business partner, and I feel very lucky to have a
Oh, there
wife
you go.
partner. I know, like not everybody's spouse wants to be involved in the business, and she wasn't for a long time, but like slowly has come on and taken on more of the workload, and she actually loves it. And so, I don't know what I would do without her. Like she's I'm the creative brain, right? I'm like the visionary, just kind of like idea person. I have so many ideas, and I
Mm-hmm.
need somebody that's going to take those ideas and put
With
them into
you.
a system, into an organization process, because otherwise, like if it's just up to me, nothing gets done. And so,
Exactly, man.
that's in my case, that's my wife. If you ever like email me or message me on Messenger or whatever, like you're going to get a response from her or one of our customer support people that are just so much better at just like organizing things and putting these together than I will ever be.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. Thank you so much for mentioning that. And like, where can our audience find your mentoring? Because you're giving so much insane amount of value about all this scaling of businesses, like learning how you can do that and getting into this high level filmmaking systems. Like, where can our audience find your mentoring?
Yeah, so that's actually a really exciting question because I have a new thing coming out that I haven't really talked about yet. And
Mm-hmm.
so for the last 5 years, I've been coaching filmmakers on how to create cinematic videos and how to grow a business as a filmmaker. And if you're a filmmaker and you're interested in that, you can check it out at cinemamastery.com. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where I would take a look. But for anybody who's an entrepreneur who, let's say you have a high ticket or a mid ticket program that is selling decently well and you're doing okay. Maybe you're making around six figures or maybe a little bit less a year, and you're looking to grow and scale. I actually have my very first live event coming up in a couple weeks,
Mm-hmm.
actually end of next week,
Exciting.
where I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to be teaching entrepreneurs how to use this mighty offer system to drive like tons of leads into your high ticket offers. So,
Whoa.
kind of exciting. This is actually happening next Thursday and Friday. And I'm going to be spending 2 whole days with you, just like taking your hand and walking you through the entire process, workshopping it, helping you understand how to create one of these offers that can literally scale you like it did for me from 10,000 a month to 100,000 a month in in 3 months, like it did for us. Like pretty insane. So if you're interested in looking at
Absolutely.
that, that is happening next Thursday and Friday. Tickets are available now. Um, the value of this can't be understated. I mean, it could easily be worth millions for the right person. And, and I charge $30,000 and up for coaching, like one-on-one,
Mm-hmm.
how people do this.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but since it's a virtual event and not like a real live event, which you'd be paying $1,000 per ticket for something like that, plus hotel and food and everything
Mm-hmm.
like that. It's a virtual event, and so tickets are only $97. So it's
Whoa, no
really,
brainer.
and I'll walk you through the entire process. So if you're interested in that, that's next Thursday and Friday. You can check it out at Mighty Offers Live, Mighty MIGHTY offers live.com. And there's
Absolutely. I'll post the links in the comment
You'll
section
post a
as
link,
well.
okay? Yeah, so you can get a ticket there if that's if something you're interested in as well.
Absolutely, but thank you so much. And that's a no-brainer. Like literally, Eric is going to walk you through the complete seven-figure business and how did he scale it in the 2 days. And it would definitely be amazing journey for everyone who's going to join that. And but like it was amazing interview again. Thank you so much for hopping on. Any last words before we conclude the whole opportunity?
I don't think so. I hope that was valuable for everybody, and you learned a little bit, and
It
hopefully we'll
was.
see you at the event. And thank you, Nikhil, for having me. Like this is a lot of fun.
Absolutely, but again, Thank you so much for joining on time, Eric. And we really enjoyed interviewing you. Like, you're a great person with a great, amazing vibe to share, and really transparent person who really wants to add value to other people's life. That's what I can see actually talking to you for a super long time. And again, Eric, thank you so much for joining. And everyone, hopefully you enjoyed the session. If you want to join its virtual event, which is no brainer, just do it. I'm going to post that link in the comment section as we just end this interview. And everyone who's watching this, thank you so much. Post any questions if you have. Eric, if he has time, he'll reply that. And again, stay tuned for the next interview, guys. Peace out. Thank you, Eric.